Going to give it one more minute. Let people to join us. Okay. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me for tonight's workshop. Tonight's workshop is going to be about how we can stop caring what other people think. So, starting off with a question, what do you want to get from this workshop? What will not caring what other people think do for you? Let me know in the chat box. Use the chat box and let me know. Okay. It'll boost your well-being and your confidence. Hello, Delaram. Understand what others worry about so you don't feel alone. You'll feel that you can be yourself. Apply the theory to practice. Okay, so the agenda for tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about me. We're going to talk a little bit about my story. Take things less personally and start to be more authentic. Excellent. We're going to talk about why I stopped looking for ways to care about what other people think. And then we're going to talk about why we care, what causes us to worry what other people think. What causes you to worry what other people think? Let me know in the chat box what you think's causing that for you. And then we're going to talk about how we can stop caring what other people think. And at the end, we're going to have an opportunity to ask any questions or comments. Spend less time in your head and more time acting naturally. Yeah. And yeah, you feel that it comes from your parental programming. But not just parents, I think society as a whole, you know, reinforces that we should be worried what other people think. So my story. So I'm a hypnotherapist, a life coach, a master practitioner of mindfulness and NLP. My kind of journey started in 2015. Prior to that, I was very anxious. I suffered with a lot of flashbacks, a lot of emotional dysregulation. I was very paranoid. I was very worried about what other people think, and I couldn't function very well. So I decided that things needed to change, and I started looking at all sorts of things, all sorts of different things for answers, started listening to a lot of philosophy, and spirituality. And then I decided to start studying NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, cognitive behavioral therapy, and hypnotherapy. And in 2019, I was announced the best hypnotherapist in Windsor, Berkshire by the website bark.com. So why did I have issues? So everyone's doing the best they can with what they have. I grew up in a very dysfunctional family. I was surrounded by narcissistic individuals who would split and they project their disowned parts and behaviors onto an easy target. As a small child, that target was me. And so I became the scapegoat for the family. The word scapegoat actually comes from, I believe, Jews used to keep a goat, and on this goat they would project all their negative behavior, and they believed that this goat would like absorb all their sins, and then they'd release it and send it off into the desert to die, taking all their sins with it. So the term scapegoat comes from that. And so when we're children in a narcissistic environment, we absorb that, we internalize that, and we think it means there's something wrong with us. So it's generational trauma. When we grow up in these kind of families, it causes splitting. As I say, people learn to feel ashamed of their emotions. They learn to feel ashamed when they need help, when they feel angry, when they assert themselves, when they're sad, fearful, sexual, even when they're happy, they can feel this toxic shame. So we become cut off from these vital parts and we disown them, and then we project them onto other people. So in the developmental stages of our lives, our neuroplasticity is at its highest. We don't have any boundaries, and we're learning about ourselves and our environment. So if we're constantly being put down, shouted at physically and emotionally abused, we internalize that abuse and we think it means there's something wrong with us. We internalize the abuser and we develop an inner critic, which is a toxic inner voice that continues to attack us and put us down long after the abusive parent or abusive family member or school bully or nasty teacher is gone. So that's what causes it. What caused it for me? I believe that's what causes it for most people. Let me know in the chat box if you have a different experience that you feel has caused it for you. So negative self-talk. Negative self-talk is an inner dialogue that we have with ourselves. And this negative self-talk can limit us. It can limit our ability to believe in ourselves. It can stop us reaching our goals or trying new things. It can keep us stuck in a vicious cycle. It can insult us, call us names, cause us to feel anxious, tell you can't do things because you're useless. It can tell you, a common one, you should have been a boy or you should have been a girl. That another common fear with people that suffer from CPTSD is the fear of homelessness. And this inner voice is telling them this stuff all the time. Yeah. Yeah, again, if we grow up in an environment, or if we experience a lot of rejection in those formative years, then that's something that we come to expect. We come to believe everyone's going to reject us, and we fear it. And again, going back to ancient times, rejection is the worst thing that we could suffer. Just like the scapegoat, if we get rejected by our tribe or the people that we rely on to help us survive, and they banish us to the desert, we're going to die. So rejection is something that everyone fears, for good reason. So the inner critic can cause you to be codependent. It can cause you to be a people pleaser, a doormat, to have a lack of boundaries. It can tell you deserve to be abused, tell you you're bad, stupid, etc. So does any of that resonate with you? Let me know in the chat box. Yep. Yep. And what would your life be like if you didn't experience those negative thoughts and voices in your head? How would things be different for you? How is that negative self-talk holding you back? You'd be freer, more authentic, more positive energy. Yeah. Calmer. Yeah. More confident. Excellent. So the different kinds of negative self-talk. You can be perfectionism. You can be a perfectionist. Again, being a perfectionist, when we're children, we take on family roles, and perfectionism is one way that we can learn to be rewarded and to matter to our parents, to get attention. We can develop all or nothing thinking. So if something goes wrong, we'll tell ourselves that everything always goes wrong, that we always fail. Pessimistic, I believe that many of you have covered that already. You're always worrying about the worst case scenario. You compare yourselves to others. You call yourself names, and you can project negativity onto others. Someone who is narcissistic may involve gossiping, be what some people call two-faced, say one thing to you to your face and something else behind your back. You can go through life fearing attack. Again, I think that you mentioned that when you said about fearing rejection. So you project past experiences on to others, and if you've been rejected in the past, you can project that. You can think everyone is out to get you or harm you. So would you like to share with us anything that you worry that people are thinking? Is there a particular thought or worry that you have that's reoccurring that you'd like to share with us in the chat box? Let me know. So what can we do about negative self-talk, and what can we do to stop worrying what other people think? So as I said previously, if our ancestors weren't accepted as part of a tribe, they would have been outcast and eaten by predators, or they'd have starved to death. So as humans, we've evolved to survive in groups and to fit in. And so we crave the trust and respect of others. Yeah. Well, if you fear something, you're going to subconsciously create it. There's a part of the brain called the reticular activating system. And the reticular activating system sorts information. It looks for things that are relevant to you. So the more you focus on something, the more you're going to find evidence of that thing. So if you believe everyone dislikes you, you're going to find evidence that people dislike you, and it's going to become a self-fulfilling prophecy. So yeah, having the trust of others in the group is still a measure of success. If someone doesn't trust you, someone thinks you're a bit shifty, it's not going to go well for you in your work and social life. So when we become overly concerned of what others think of us, it's going to be because that we've learned that love and acceptance is conditional, something that we're not worthy of, and something we don't really deserve. So one way we can cultivate self-acceptance and self-love is through inner child healing, with reconnecting with and nurturing our inner child. And I have a 4-week program that I'm going to be launching in July, and I'll talk more about that at the end of this presentation. So Brené Brown said that healthy striving is self-focused, asking yourself, how can I improve? And perfectionism is focused on other people, wondering what will they think. Again, many people say don't compare yourself to others, compare yourself to who you were yesterday. As long as you're progressing from where you were, then that's good enough, and that should help you to improve your confidence and self-esteem. So how would your life change if you were to stop worrying what other people are thinking? What would you do differently? What would you be able to do differently? Let me know in the chat box. Would you have a better job, better car? Do you have a better relationship? Let me know. You'd feel more lovable. And what would feeling more lovable do for you, Mike? More peace. You'd be dating. Excellent. So you'd feel more peaceful, feel more lovable, feel more confident, more grateful. What would these feelings do for you? These are feelings, but what would be your target? What could you envisage yourself having, or people would know the real you? Yep. That's great. So if people knew the real you, what would that enable you to do? How would your life change? Yep, authentic to yourself. Excellent. Would you have a better job? Mm-hmm. Yep, you wouldn't be afraid of being judged. You know, feelings are just feelings. You know, if we have a goal in mind, then we can measure our progress by that goal. We just say, I just want to feel better. That's not, you know, that's not something that you can find external. It's not something that you can look to the external world for evidence of. If you have a goal like a relationship or a better job, that's something that you can look to the external world for, something that you can measure your progress by. Again, you don't want to think what you don't want. You want to be thinking what you do want. And this again goes back to the reticular activating system that I mentioned earlier. By looking for what we do want, our reticular activating system is going to be programmed to find more and more of those things. So does anyone have any questions? Let me know in the chat box if you have any questions. Okay, so what can we do to stop caring? How can we react when others hurt us, even if it's just with comments? Is there intention to hurt us? Are they wanting to hurt us? So what we can do is to take more interest in others. Most people are in the same boat. Lots and lots of people are worried about how other people perceive them and how other people look at them. And so focus on other people and take an interest in them. When you meet them or speak to them, ask them questions. And by asking them questions and focusing on them, you're going to take the attention, you're going to take your own attention off yourself and you're going to put it on them. And most people like to talk about themselves and they want to feel accepted. So if they feel accepted by you, they're gonna want you to feel accepted by them. So what people, another thing that we need to consider is what people think of you has more to do with them than you. Again, as I said previously, we often split and we project our past experiences on to the present situation, and we project our past experiences with other people onto the people that we meet. So don't be judgmental. do work to reintegrate any parts that you may have dissociated from, that you may have disowned, and stay away from gossip. Do what you want to do. If you're not happy in your work or career, are you doing it because someone else wants you to? You're doing it to keep a parent or partner happy? Ask yourself what you'd really like to do. What would give you a sense of purpose? So, if anyone has any questions, let me know in the chat box. And not everyone will like you. So as I said previously, if people don't like you or think something wrong, think something badly of you, it's likely they who have the problem. So just accept that and move on. Stop trying. When we put too much effort into being liked, other people will wonder if there's something wrong with us. It can create an uncanny valley effect, which comes from AI. They found that if they make AI too much like, humans, if they make Android robots look too human, it makes people very uncomfortable. So if you're trying too hard to be liked, you're going to create that effect and you're going to make people uncomfortable. So, for everyone who joins me on these workshops, a free session, a 1-hour session. So if you'd like to book that, you can go to my website, which is anxietyhypnotherapist.org/free session. And do you have any questions? Let me know in the chat box if you have any questions, anything you want to know. What to do when your spouse showers you with love for a few days, then becomes unconditionally, emotionally unavailable for a week, and then repeats the cycle. That could be considered narcissistic behavior. Narcissists will, love bomb their target and then, reel them in and then become abusive. So there's a constant push-pull in the relationship. I don't know what you could do there. I suppose speak to them, seek marriage counselling. Does what work for everyone, Angelica? Do you mean hypnosis? Yeah, it's being streamed to my YouTube channel, so you can watch the video back on my YouTube channel. I'll give you a link to it at the end. Hypnosis, everyone can experience hypnosis. Hypnosis is a perfectly natural state that we all experience several times during the course of a day. Have you ever driven somewhere, gotten to your destination, not remembered the journey? That would be a state of hypnosis. If you've ever been playing a sport, got an injury, a nick or a cut, and not noticed because you were so engrossed, that would be a state of hypnosis. So hypnosis is a focused state of attention. So everyone can experience it, but not everyone can be hypnotized by everyone. There used to be a theory that only 20% of people were really hypnotizable, and then there were 50% of people that were hypnotizable, but they didn't really experience hypnosis, deeply. And then there was another 20% of people who weren't hypnotizable at all. That was disproven with more modern hypnosis methods by a man called Milton Erickson, mainly by Milton Erickson. So yeah, everyone can be hypnotized. Everyone can experience hypnosis. We all experience hypnosis. Any other questions? Let me know. So who wants to try some hypnosis? Let me know in the chat box. Let me know in the chat box if you've experienced hypnosis before. Cool. So hypnosis is very effective for a number of reasons. Your mind can't tell the difference between a real or imagined event. So by picturing yourself the way you want to be, by visualizing yourself the way you want to be, you actually build new neural pathways in the brain. And you can start to associate with yourself that way. And the more we envisage ourselves this way, the stronger the neural pathways become, and the more we become that person. So, okay. Okay. Yeah. So has anyone not experienced hypnosis before? Let me know in the chat box. Yep. Okay. You've never experienced. Okay, so we'll do a couple of exercises to show you the power of your mind, the power of your imagination. So what I'd like you to do is take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, just allow your eyes to close. I'd like you to imagine yourself walking into your kitchen. And on the side of your kitchen, in the fruit bowl or on the work surface, you can see a nice big juicy orange. I'd like you to pick up that orange and get a chopping board and safely take hold of a sharp knife. And just imagine yourself cutting that orange in half. As you cut it in half, all those juices are coming out of that orange and going on to that chopping. And then chopping it again. So you're getting a bite-sized chunk. And then just imagine lifting that chunk of orange up to your mouth and biting into that orange, and all those juices flowing out and dripping down your chin. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes and let me know in the chat box if imagining that made you salivate. Yes, yes, yep. Yep, your mouth was watering. Fantastic. So this is the power of your mind. This is the power of imagination. So, as I said, everyone can experience hypnosis. So if you'd like to just settle back, just allow yourself to begin to relax. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing all the way down into your stomach. Notice your stomach rising as you're breathing in, falling as you breathe out. Just see if you can sense more relaxation with the in-breath or the out-breath. Maybe you can notice a difference between those breaths. Maybe the in-breath is slightly cooler than the out-breath. If any thoughts should come into your mind, that's perfectly fine. You can just notice. Maybe you can imagine drifting through your mind, like clouds drifting across the blue sky, drifting from one side to the other, drifting off over the horizon. In a moment, I'd like you to take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in, I'd like you to hold it at the top. Tense all your muscles, all the way down from the top of your head to the very tips of your toes. Then as you breathe out, just release those muscles. Release any tension, any stresses or strains. Just doing that now. Breathing in, holding it, releasing, letting go. Allowing relaxation to flow into those muscles. I wonder if you can imagine that big blue sky and there's 10 clouds in that sky. And there's one cloud just drifts away. You can allow yourself to experience yourself just letting go, experiencing just a little bit more comfort and nice. Maybe you can get a sense of that relaxation forming in your face. Notice those tiny muscles in your face just relax, your forehead flattening, release, and 8, 7, as that relaxation flows down your body, flows down your arms, into your hands. 6, 5, flowing down into your legs and feet. Each breath just taking you deep, allowing you to experience more and more relaxation, more and more comfort. Maybe you can get a sense of body touching down on that surface, being supported there. And then there's just 2 clouds left. As one of those clouds drifts away, there's just 1 cloud. I wonder if you can imagine that cloud hovering towards you. Just hovering over top of your head. Get a sense of a connection with that. Maybe you can imagine lines, threads connecting you to that. And that cloud's just drawing up any negative energy, any anxious feelings, any thoughts or worries, just being sucked up by that. More and more release. As you scan around your body, maybe you can get a sign or a signal that being able to release anything that may have made you worry in the past. Could be a twitch of the finger or thumb. It could be a feeling of warmth, lightness. Maybe one hand feels lighter than the other. Just scanning around, noticing what you notice. There's more and more of those old issues, old worries, they're just being drawn up into that cloud. And that cloud begins to get darker, angry. Maybe you can imagine flashes of lightning in that cloud, rumbles of thunder. So it draws up more and more of that old stuff, anything that may have been related to negative self-talk, worrying what other people think, anxiety, more and more being drawn up into that. And that cloud can begin to loosen its grip, to move away. Maybe you can imagine those threads or lines being stretched as it starts to drift away. taking with it all that old stuff, taking with it anything that you're ready to let go of, anything that you're ready to release, drifting off, drifting away, off over the horizon, allowing you to experience that comfort, relaxation. And maybe you can imagine yourself in the future, maybe a week from now, feeling more confident, more positive, happier, calm, maybe in situations that used to bother you, just worrying a little bit less about how other people perceive you, being able to interact with people just a little bit more comfortable. Just picture yourself there now, doing. Maybe you can imagine yourself connecting with that future version, seeing through that future version of you's eyes, feeling what you feel. Notice how good it feels to be just a little bit more confident, a little bit calm, maybe feeling more in control, happy. Really connect with that future version. Get a sense of this. Changes taking effect. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. When I reach the number 5, you can come back to the present, noticing how good you feel. Over the coming days and weeks, you can begin to notice. And those things can let you know things have begun to change, that you have begun to change. So begin counting. 1, just allowing the energy to return to your feet, legs. Maybe you'd like to wiggle those toes. 2, as that energy flows up your body. 3, down your arms and into your hands. Maybe you'd like to wiggle your fingers. 4, and on the next number you can open your eyes, coming back to the present, noticing how good you feel. 5, eyes open, wide awake. So if you like that, let me know in the chat box. Thank you. Thank you. So as I said, if you'd like to book a free session with me, I'll discuss anything at all, see if I can help you with anything, you can do so via the link I just put in the chat box there. And that's my website, anxietyhypnotherapist.org/free session. Thank you. I'm glad that you all enjoyed it, found it relaxing. Fabulous. So as I said, for many people, do I do hypnosis for weight loss? Yes, I do. just book a call with me there and we can have a chat about it. Okay, so the inner child program. You know, worrying what other people think, negative self-talk, it's generally an inner child issue. So I'm starting a new program, which is a 4-week program. It's going to involve 4 group coaching sessions. I'm going to be recording all the sessions. So if you miss a session or you want to watch them back, you can do so. It's going to be discounted if you want to work with me one-to-one. I'll offer discounted sessions for anyone who does the program. I'm going to create an exclusive Facebook group that you can access. I'm going to be putting loads of info in there. There's going to be weekly exercises, a workbook. And we're going to be looking to reintegrate all ages of the inner child. This can reduce anxiety. It can increase self-esteem and confidence. It can help you to control your impulses, reconnect with your emotions. It can also obviously help with, you know, worrying what other people think and negative self-talk. So this is a new program and I'm just launching it. The price of it is going to be £199. But because you're on this workshop, I'm offering a special price of £59. Again, if you'd like to find out more about that, you can book a call with me via my website. So does anyone have any questions? Let me know in the chat box. If you have any questions, anything you'd like to ask about hypnosis or anything at all. Let me know in the chat box. What's the difference between hypnosis and meditation? Well, there's lots of different types of meditation. You can have mindfulness meditation, which involves, link to my website is there. You can have mindfulness meditation, which involves focusing on the breath and noticing your thoughts. You can do body scan meditations, which involve, you know, scanning around your body. And then you can do guided meditations, which involve visualization. Hypnosis and guided meditation are very similar, but my posts don't appear here. That's because I'm messaging it to everyone in the waiting room. There you go. There's my website. So the difference between hypnosis and guided meditation is with hypnosis, we're looking to integrate the body as well. So that's why I say, you know, when you're releasing any negative energy or feeling, you may get a signal from your unconscious mind. So this is called an ideomotor response. So I'm looking to do that, to allow your unconscious mind to tell you that it's releasing things. So that's the, you know, that's the main difference between hypnosis and meditation, but they're very similar. Any other questions? And does that answer your question? Again, there's a link to my site to book a free session. Talk to me about the Inner Child program. And yeah, any other questions, let me know. Anything else you want to know? The full week program will be starting on Thursday, the 1st of July. It's going to be at 7 p.m. UK time. Anything else you'd like to know? No? Okay, well, thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining me tonight. As I said, there's my website address again. If you'd like to book a session with me or find out more about the upcoming program, please do so there. Thank you, Carol. Thank you. Thank you. And please check my meetup and Eventbrite groups. I've planned more sessions. I believe the next one is going to be about letting go of toxic shame and overcoming narcissistic abuse. So I hope to see you there. And I also promised I would give you a link to my YouTube channel. So this website, the video of this presentation has been streamed to YouTube. And if you'd like to watch it back, you can do so via that link there. So, yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you all, and hope to see you again. And good night.